Hello everybody, my name is Citrus, and today we are finally doing our spoiler review for the Sonic movie 2. Figured it's been out for a little while, I'm sure many people have gotten to see it now, so I figured now would be a good time to post up my spoiler review, talk about all the spicy things that go on in this movie. I have much to say about this movie in terms of good, in terms of bad, and there's just so much that I can't even be bothered to write any notes for this. I'm just kind of going off the cuff and I want to talk about everything in this movie in terms of good, in terms of bad, and just kind of roll with it. But once again, I'll repeat, this is a spoiler review. If you do not want to get spoiled for this movie, head out now, because after this, we gonna be talking about some spoilers. Now, I'd actually like to start with some scenes in this movie that I really didn't like, just to get those out of the way. Two in particular that come to mind as like the worst parts of the movie. The dancing scene in like Romania or whatever, and the pretty much majority of the wedding. Sonic and Tails need to go find the Master Emerald, and the map says that the compass to find the Master Emerald is in Romania, so they go over there and they enter a tavern, and then they get into a little like tavern fight because Tails' translator broke and it's accidentally saying mean things to the people over there. Then they get into a fight, but not just any fight, a dance battle? What? It feels incredibly childish, which I know is like a dumb thing to say because it's Sonic the Hedgehog, but it's like, it's not just childish, it's like bad childish. It's like not even like fun or whimsical or like, you know, a cool part of the movie. It's really, really dumb. It feels like conflict for the sake of conflict. They were like, oh, we need something bad to happen here. What's gonna happen? Oh, Tails' translator broke, and then the people think that they're saying mean things, so what are they gonna do? Obviously they're gonna throw Sonic and Tails into a fucking fireplace. But of course, you know, they can resolve everything with a little dance battle, which is just, it's so dumb. And obviously this whole scene is just a clear trying to do the same thing from the first movie, which is like the bar fight. Except the bar fight in the first movie was really fun because it was, first of all, an actual fight, which was fun to watch. Secondly, it kind of made sense why the fight happened. Sonic sort of antagonized the people at the bar, which led to this whole fight. And even before the actual bar fight itself, the whole scene with them like doing Sonic's bucket list with Tom was like a really cool bonding thing, and it made, you know, made their relationship make a lot more sense. They try to do the same thing here with Tails, except it really doesn't work like at all. Tails and Sonic pretty much immediately become friends. There's no like hesitancy on Sonic's end or anything like that. And Tails is just like a Sonic fanboy in this movie, so he's obviously just gonna go with whatever Sonic wants to do and is just happy to be there. I feel like it would have been much more interesting if we got to see Sonic and Tails' relationship bond through the snowstorm, because before they enter the tavern, they're trying to fight through the snowstorm and things are getting pretty bad. I think it would have been interesting to see Sonic and Tails work together to try and hide out in the storm. It would have differentiated it from the bar fight from the first movie, and I feel like it could have shown a lot of their strengths better. We could see Tails' smarts in trying to survive the environment, as well as Sonic's speed and natural strength to actually get things done, and it could show how well their dynamic works. But no, instead we got a fucking really dumb dance battle. And then the wedding, it's so bad. So Sonic and Tails are being chased by Eggman and Knuckles after they get the compass from the Master Emerald Temple. Sonic is like, hey, we need to make a getaway, and then they ask Tom to use the ring to teleport them to Hawaii. And then once they get there, turns out the wedding was a sham. Oh my god, it was actually a secret operation by the gun agents, and the whole thing was a setup to try and capture Sonic. What? So then Sonic and Tails get captured by Gun, and Tom gets arrested. So then Maddie and Maddie's sister have to go try and break them out, except Maddie's sister isn't really interested in trying to free Sonic and Tails. She's more so interested in trying to get revenge on her would-be husband because he's been lying to her this whole time and because he's actually a gun agent. So then we get this whole scene of her confronting him, and they like try and make you care about their relationship. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. For starters, Gun set up a whole fucking wedding and a whole fake relationship just for the chance of trying to catch Sonic, even though they knew that Sonic wasn't gonna be at the wedding. It's not like he was invited. He's not allowed really to be shown in public, so of course he wasn't gonna be attending the wedding. So why did they think that a wedding was a good idea in order to try and capture Sonic? Unless they were trying to just arrest Tom, in which case they could have just done that as soon as the first movie ended. The logic there just doesn't make sense. And then the whole thing with Maddie's sister and her husband, and the whole thing with Maddie's sister, it's just like, she was a fine character in the first movie. She was just kind of there to do some vaguely funny things, and for Tom to go there and show Sonic to Maddie. But then in this movie they try and like get you to care about her and like her relationship with this guy who we also don't really care about, and it's just like, it feels so forced. And like, literally when I was watching it, I like turned to my friend, and I was like, why are they doing this? Why is this here?
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
And then they try and do the scene where Maddie has to go save Sonic and Tails and Tom, and it's like supposed to be like this cool espionage moment, but it's really not very cool. I think this whole rescue mission thing could have been infinitely better if A, you get rid of the stuff with Maddie's sister and her husband, because it's really not necessary, or just make it shorter or something. Just don't make it such a prominent focus in that scene. Next, what if Tails wasn't knocked out and he didn't get kidnapped? Maddie was already using Tails' tools from his backpack to try and save Sonic and Tom and Tails, but what if Tails wasn't knocked out and he got to use his tools and he could save Sonic and Tom? Again, that would be a great way to show Sonic and Tails' bond. It would be able to show that Tails is capable of himself on his own. And again, it would just be a cool Tails scene, which this movie is severely lacking. Instead, they tried to focus it on the human characters, that even though they're trying to give them a cool part, no one's ever gonna really care about them, at least not as much as the main characters of this movie, the Sonics, the Tails, the Knuckles. And there are other scenes in this movie, you have Wade interrogating Agent Stone, which was like a really weird and unnecessary thing that didn't even lead into anything. I actually have no idea why that part was even there. And yeah, there are just like little moments in this movie that just make me question everything and like really stick out in my mind. To the point where at the end of the movie, when I was walking out, and I was like reflecting on it, I was like, God, this movie it had some really bad parts, man. I don't know how good this movie was, to be honest. But upon rewatching it and really reflecting on those scenes in particular, they're actually not that long in the grand scheme of things. In total, I'd say all those parts combined are about 15 to 20 minutes of the runtime, which for a 2-hour movie isn't really that much. I think in my head they felt way longer, just because I was sitting there in the theater being like, okay, we get it. Can we please get back to Sonic the Hedgehog now? And I think I've seen a lot of people with similar sentiments where when they first watched it, they were like, I don't know about how I feel with this movie. But then after rewatching it and you sort of come to expect those moments, you're more forgiving of it and you're more like, that wasn't so bad, and it cut back to the action pretty quickly. So yes, while those moments are pretty bad, and I would have just preferred them to either not be in the movie or have been changed to be better, they don't take up that much time in the grand scheme of things. And when you compare it to all the cool, dope shit that happens in this movie, it's like, oh my god. Now we can talk about some of the really fun parts of it. Now we can talk about the cool shit. And just, there's so much. I mentioned it in my non-spoiler review with the fights, but the fights are so fucking good. The first part was Sonic trying to do his whole like Blue Justice crime fighting thing in Seattle was super fun. It was super cool, and like having it be in like the city at nighttime gave those like Adventure 1 vibes. It was so cool. Obviously there was the first encounter with Sonic and Knuckles, which was super fun. I mean, they've pretty much shown the whole thing in the trailers, but in the theater it had like a different impact. It was like, god damn, Knuckles is just destroying Sonic right now. Then there was a snowboarding part, which was just really fun. You had Sonic and Tails maneuvering around this mountain with like a horde of Eggman's machines coming after them. You have Knuckles chasing after Sonic on a snowboard as well. I think my favorite like action sequence in this whole movie is the big fight between Sonic and Knuckles at the Master Emerald Temple. This shit was so raw. You just have Sonic and Knuckles just trading blows back and forth. You have Sonic literally smash Knuckles into the fucking ground with his spin dash over and over again, and then Knuckles just immediately gets back up and tries to throw a flurry of punches at Sonic. It's so cool. I just love the moments in these movies where we can get some like real, like sort of hand-to-hand combat between Sonic and someone else. Normally, I feel like we see either like car chases or like Sonic fighting a big robot, which those are fun, but just seeing him like actually go like throw down with someone else is really fun to watch. And then there's the climax of the movie with the Death Egg robot, and of course, Super Sonic, which was so good. It was so good. Earlier in the movie, when they were explaining how the Master Emerald works, which is actually kind of interesting, it's a little bit different than in the games where the Master Emerald, like inside the Master Emerald were the 7 Chaos Emeralds. So then when the Master Emerald shattered towards the end of the movie, the 7 Chaos Emeralds came out, you were like, oh fuck, they're gonna do it, the 7 Emeralds are out, and Sonic has them, oh my god. I loved how they did that part. It was so good. It just, my theater was pretty chilled, no one was like screaming or anything, but man, I wanted to just like scream and shout at that part because it was so cool. And just that little, when he does the little foot tap thing against the Death Egg robot, like how he does in the fucking Sonic 06 intro cutscene, where like there's that robot sitting over the ledge and he just kind of taps him with his foot. That was such a random and cool little reference, it just made me so happy. And it's not just the action in this movie, there are a lot of really fun little character moments that are fun, that are cute, and that really show you what these characters are all about. I know I said I didn't like the dancing scene, but after all the dancing stuff, you get this nice moment where Sonic is talking to Tails, and they go to bed, and Tails is just curled up by the fire, and then Sonic puts a little blanket over him, and then Tails uses his tails to give Sonic as like a blanket, and it was really cute. And then Knuckles. Knuckles has so many funny moments in this movie. Obviously, he's very serious, and that's how they play his character. He is overly serious to the point where he does not understand when people are being sarcastic or joking. He takes things very literally. Like, Eggman has a little hologram of Sonic on his desk, and then Knuckles just immediately smashes it and is like, the blue magic hedgehog is destroyed. That shit killed me. Knuckles is really, really fun in this movie. But again, I will have to say, Tails really deserved better moments. Sonic, I felt like, has not matured much since the first movie. I hope that in Sonic 3 we can see him acting a bit more mature, maybe more like our game Sonic. Oh, and another thing, when he calls Tom his dad at the end of the movie, that was pretty bad. I feel like that's one of those things that's supposed to be like unspoken. It's like, yeah, you get it, they have like a family dynamic, but you know, Sonic should never call Tom his actual fucking dad. That felt really weird. But overall, I'd say that the writing, the jokes, those were all pretty good. The action scenes were great, and I think it's time to talk about that end credit scene. After the Death Egg is destroyed, after everyone's gone home, they're investigating the scene, and then one of the gun agents goes up to her commanding officer and is like, hey, we found these files from like 50 years ago. They're kind of weird. Do you know what this is about? And he's like, oh my god, it's Project Shadow. And then of course they cut to a little pod, and who's inside the pod? It's fucking Shadow the Hedgehog. And he opens his eyes, and it's so cool. I don't know if I've talked about it on the channel or if it's just been on Twitter, but I was not sure if they were going to do Shadow for this movie. I was really thinking that they were going to do Metal Sonic and Amy, get them introduced first, which they very well still could. Maybe it could be like in the third movie you get not only Shadow, but also Metal Sonic and Amy, and all three of those characters are introduced at once. Shadow also has like a pretty interesting design. It's like slightly tweaked, and it's a little different than how it is in the games. He's wearing like belts or something, and like his eyes look a little bit different. But just like how Tails got tweaked from the end credits of the first movie into this one, I'm sure that design will also get tweaked to be a little different when we see him officially in a Sonic 3 trailer. But yeah, man, Shadow. I don't want to talk too much about like speculation for Sonic 3, but I just hope they do his character arc well, because I feel like Shadow is one of those characters in Sonic that has like just a really important backstory, and like they really cannot mess it up. But so far the movies have been great, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they use Shadow and like what they do with him. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I want to go over with this movie. It was kind of all over the place. I'm sorry, this video was very rambly. I don't have any notes, but I just wanted to say all my thoughts, let them out there. And to summarize, I think I'll say this. The first Sonic movie was extremely consistent. It was a level of quality that it reached throughout the entire movie. The Sonic movie 2 takes a lot more risks. It goes in bolder directions, and because of that, we get some way cooler moments, but also some way worse moments. The first Sonic movie is more consistent. The second one has higher highs and lower lows. But for me, honestly, I prefer that. This movie took a lot of risks. It tried to introduce a lot more stuff, a lot more interesting ideas into this film that are based off the games, and trying to incorporate more lore, more characters, more everything. It's like the first movie, but just completely off the walls. And I can absolutely respect their decision to do that. And I hope in the third movie, they go even crazier with it, introduce even more stuff from the games, do even more references and teases, and just go crazy with it and have fun with it. But yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on the Sonic movie 2. If you guys have seen it, please do let me know your thoughts down below. Now that it's a spoiler video, I think you can go crazy in those comments. Go insane. Drop those spoilers. Who cares? But once again, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, click that like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Again, comment down below your thoughts on the movie if you've seen it yet. If you haven't seen it and you were a naughty lad and you wanted to get spoiled on this movie before seeing it, you fiendish devil, then I guess drop that in the comments down below as well. But yeah, once again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all later. Peace.